Hey gang, in the last episode we talked a little bit about web browsers, so let's talk about what web browsers can actually do and a few of the extra settings and things that come with web browser that we can actually kind of use to make the web browsers our own, make them a little bit more secure, make them a little bit more compatible, so on and so forth. Let's go ahead and get straight into it. Alright, so web browsers. A lot of web browsers have a cache, right? Have a cache or use cookies, and pretty much what that is that information is saved on your hard drive. That information is saved so when you revisit that web page, it'll load a little bit faster. So I'm having to load the banner, the video, the everything, little nibbits and little kernels of the actual website will get saved. So when you bring the website up again, it'll load a little bit faster. Cookies also are used to kind of look to see what your habits are, to see what you're doing, to see what you like, what you don't like, to kind of make your browsing experience a little bit better. That's what they say. So just to make it a little bit better. Okay. Now, if you're using Chrome and other things, you can actually add more functionality to your browser. So you can add an extension. So if you're using Chrome, you can use an extension to where if you go on a website, it'll automatically apply coupons to your basket. Or you can add an extension that'll tell you what the weather is in 5 different countries. Or you can do an extension that can automatically block certain advertisements. Or you can do an extension, literally there is an extension for any and everything that you can think of, right? So they have extensions for VPNs. We'll talk about what a VPN is, a virtual private network. They have different extensions for anything you can think of, right? Now, private browsing. So whenever you're browsing, believe it or not, there's always somebody watching you. Always somebody watching you, whether it's to get your browsing habits, whether it's to see how you're actually interacting with a website or what you're doing, but somebody's always watching. A lot of advertisers are watching, a lot of marketers are watching it. If you own some weird ass websites, the FBI is probably watching. But with private browsing, it's not supposed to save any of your browsing information. No history, no cookies, no nothing. So it says leaves no trace after you end the session. Technically doesn't leave a trace, doesn't leave anything behind. So if somebody, comes and opens up the web browser after you, whatever you were doing shouldn't pop up. Now, if you're doing some weird stuff, some crazy stuff, there is ways to still recover your browsing history, and some websites, it may not work on their website as far as their private browsing. Now, private browsing is better than nothing, so you can use it, but just know that if you're doing something crazy, if you're searching some weird stuff, if you trying to figure out how the hell to build a rocket launcher, no matter what the hell you're doing, you're going to end up on somebody's list. All right, end up on somebody's list. But anyway, we'll talk about that when we get more into security. But private browsing technically lets you browse in private without nobody seeing anything. Okay. All right, so talking about private browsing, right? There's something called a proxy server. And if you use a proxy server, that can be even more in depth than a private browsing, way more in depth. So with private browsing, it's like, okay, I don't want people to know what I'm doing. I don't want people to see what I'm doing, so on and so forth. With a proxy server, you can actually ask the proxy server to go to websites instead of you. Make sense? If not, don't worry about it. I'm going to clear it up. So I want to go to weirdaswebsite.com, right? So instead of me going to the website myself, I actually connect to the proxy server. Then the proxy server connects to weirdaswebsite.com, and then it sends the information back to me. Okay? One more time. So I connect to the proxy server connects to whatever website I'm trying to connect to, and then via the proxy server, I get connected to that website. But to that website, it looks like the proxy server is the originator of the request. It looks like the proxy server is connected to the website and not me. Make sense? All right. So so let's say that I'm on a diet, right? Not really, no, just playing. Let's say that I'm on a diet and I got a personal trainer. He like, hey man, you cannot eat any damn pizza. Do not eat any pizza. I'm like, okay, man, I'm not going to eat pizza, just Brussels sprouts. And then I end up sending somebody to the store, right? Says somebody, hey, man, I need a slice of pizza, man. I'm doing pretty bad. So the personal trainer is doing push-ups in the parking lot of the Pizza Hut or pizza store, just so I won't come up there. So I'll send one of my neighbors, say, hey, man, just go give me a slice of pizza, please. So he goes and gives me a slice of pizza. The personal trainer doesn't know it's me asking for the slice of pizza. The guy comes back and gives me the slice of pizza. So the next door neighbor that got me a slice of pizza would be the proxy server. Makes sense? They connected to it instead of me. We already know what pop-up blockers are. Pop-up blockers, block pop-ups, block pop-ups, right? So pop-ups are, hey, come try this diet pill. Hey, come do your taxes. Hey, come fix your credit. Hey, whatever, a pop-up advertisement that you don't want to see. So pop-up blocker does that. Now, with some websites, you actually have to turn on or turn off the pop-up blocker for it to work correctly. And a lot of times websites now tell you like, hey, you have to turn off the pop-up blocker. And some other websites, if you have like an ad blocker extension or something like that, that's going to actually block ads or actually tell you, hey man, this is how we make money. You got to turn that ad blocker off. All right. So whether it's an ad blocker or a pop-up blocker, it's going to block stuff that you don't want to see. All right, gang. So hopefully you're enjoying this video series and course. We'll be going at this for months on YouTube. Most of my students have already finished this course. It's been about, we got 100 people so far through the course. So, because you have to understand, this course was completed in November, and I'm pretty much just spacing it out on YouTube, right? So if you want to knock it out, this series is going to be pretty deep. If you want to more in-depth experience, if you want to knock this shit out on your own time and not wait for every week for another video to come out and actually get more in-depth tutelage and training, head over to itmasterkey.com and enroll inside of the ITF Plus IT Beginners course. And other than that, I'll see you in class.